Welcome to Straight No Chaser. So grab a glass and join your hosts, your girl MBZ, Pastor C, Thin Bad, and the Chief.
Welcome to Straight No Chaser, where we never dilute the issues, we only serve the hard stuff. It's your girl, Aunt Beezy, and as always, I am joined by my fabulous co-host, Thin Bad. Thin Bad, where you at?
I'm here.
All right. Hello. And the Chief.
Good evening.
This has been another busy week. The world is still mourning the loss of Nipsey Hussle. His funeral service is going to be tomorrow. Magic Johnson quit the Lakers, and the Dems and Republicans are fighting it out about the Mueller report. However, this week we want to lighten the mood. So during previous shows, we talked about Drake, Jay-Z, Lil Wayne, and reality TV. So tonight we're taking it back a little old school. Way before there was Sirius XM, iHeart, or even FM radio, there was this thing known as AM radio.
Wow.
Some of you, not me so much, can remember when groups including the Softones, Supremes, Delphonics, they would light it up on the AM stations across the nation. By the way, many stations used to go off the air around midnight, or the signal wasn't strong enough to even sustain the radio station or the radio channel once the sun went down. But you can't talk about old school anything without mentioning the godfather of soul, James Brown. He was an innovator of hardcore, in-your-face soul music. For years, he kept it on the number one with hits such as Papa's Got a Brand New Bag, Funky President, Payback, and It's a Man's World. Many of the modern rappers sample hits and often imitate his signature dance moves and screams on the regular. So joining us tonight is a member of his band who is a legend in his own right, Robert Mousy Thompson, who is a renowned musician and drummer for James Brown. Mousy now leads the James Brown Experience that tours the world, keeping it on the number one. So before we jump in with Mousy, I just want to remind the audience that you can call in at 702-425-7789 or chat with us live. We want to hear from you. We want to let's get more participation in this discussion, especially since it's upbeat, lighthearted, something different. I'm excited. But Mousy, thank you for joining us, first of all.
Well, thank you, Miss MBZ. Thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Oh, it's a pleasure to have you.
Great.
So
well, let's make it funky.
Always keeping it funky up in here. So first, tell us, how did you end up with the dream job of being James Brown's drummer? And what was it like?
Well, it was actually a call I had gotten from by a guy by the name of Larry Friday. He called me and said, "Hey, man, are you interested in working with James Brown?" At that moment, I stopped, looked at my phone, and I'm like, of course, the legend James Brown. This would be good for about a year or two. I didn't think it would last as long as it had lasted, So I got the call. I got a plane ticket to fly down. I went down totally wrong. Mr. Brown was always against jeans, sneakers, and baseball caps and everything. So that's how I gone down there. I got down there, the band got on me and said, "Hey, man, you better change. You better put some different clothes on." So I just so happened to have a suit tie with me, So I put that on. They said, "Come on, get on the bus." So we got over there to the audition. The drummers are everywhere. So at this point in time, he's rotating drummers, and I sit down behind the kit. And to make a long story short, at this time we went around and around a couple of times, and he told me to sit there, and he looked at everybody else. He would, "Thank you for coming." He said, see my secretary in the back. We got something for you for coming out for your time and everything. Then he turned to me and said, welcome to the family, son.
Wow.
Wow.
That's so cool. That's so cool.
And that was 13 years I served with them, you know, and it was great times, you know.
That's
Learned
awesome.
a lot, you know.
So, Mousy, so tell us what it was like, you know, just traveling with James, and in particular, how was he as the overseer of the band?
Well, he was a stickler, man. I mean, you would think you were in a regiment of like armed services or something. I mean, because he had, you know, I mean, you know, he wanted your uniform, your shoes shine, your you know, your hair fixed. You know, he was a stickler on those kind of things, you know, and always professional. You know, believe it or not, you know, even on the bus rides, you know, we would sneak and wear, you know, our sneakers and whatever. But when we got off that bus, you know, we had our suits and ties on. We made room somehow or another to get those hard shoes back on our feet and slacks and everything.
Wow.
But but yeah, he was a stickler for those kind of things. I mean, it was just about him. He was showman. You know, I'm up here to show these people, give them something.
That's right.
That's
It wasn't
awesome.
what we wanted to wear. It's what he wanted us to wear. I mean, he had all the outfits that we wore. They were made especially for each individual.
Wow.
Yeah.
So when it came to practice, now, you know, the urban legend was that when you all had practice, you know, if you hit a wrong note, they said that he just had an incredible ear for all the flats and all those things that you all were playing, and beats and half notes and all that stuff. And if you hit one wrong, that he would hit, if he put up a finger, that would signify a certain amount of money. Is that true?
Oh yeah, well that pretty much came if you weren't paying attention. If you were looking down, or you know, he happened to turn around and see you looking somewhere else. So imagine a hand just saying 5, 10, 15, 20, but you don't know if that 5, 10 is 25 or 10. You know, each one of those little flashes, you know, it could be 25. You know,
Right.
you don't know. Fortunately, I didn't have to be unfortunately to say, hey, that was me. No.
That's right. You kept it
But
all together.
I tried. I did my best. He may have caught me a couple of times, and he maybe forgot about telling the manager to take it from me. So I was like, "Is that you know, is that? Oh, what? No, I don't see my name on that list." So you were good, you know.
Mm.
But no, it was. He kept you on your. You know, the main thing was watch me, and if you watched him, you know, you would get it. You know. Most of the time, you know, but you could never say that you knew this man, because he was always coming up with something different, you know. So to go there thinking that we're going to do the same thing, don't even go there with that kind of insight, you know. And he's a man that would change things on a dime, you know. We go to TV shows, and here we got to come up with a quick medley, you know, and remember it, you know.
Wow.
But that's how he was, you know. You had to have that kind of tough blood. So that's why he had two of everything. So if one wasn't pretty much putting out the way he wanted it, he'd go to the next one.
So did he travel? Did he have like a traveling band? I mean, were there like two drummers everywhere he went, or two bass?
Man, we had entourage of over 28 people.
Oof.
Wow.
Sheesh.
We had dancers. You talking about dancers, singers, horns, the whole thing. You know, two of everything, pretty much. Two guitar players.
I miss the horns. I miss the real horns. You know, everything's synthesized now, but man, when you hit the horns, you can't fake that. You cannot fake that.
No, man, it's about some horns. I love brass myself. You know, even now with my band, I have a 10-piece band, and it makes it easy on the engineers, because he's like, y'all having electronic stuff. I'm like, no, man, we're about the easiest band you're going to get along with. You know, so
how many,
coming real raw.
I would imagine that you hear a whole lot of music now. You know, I mean, like, how many people I guess there's no way to even know how many folks are sampling a James Brown beat. Or, I mean, albums are built on the rhythm section and the drum line of James Brown's
of James Brown. You're right. And to this day, I still hear little things. I'm like, I know what that is.
right.
But it's hidden in the mix.
Yeah. They try
But
to
it's there.
do what they. Yeah, you can't miss it because Ambezi, you're keeping it on the number one. You're keeping it on the one.
Right.
She said,
The
yeah,
number
she-
one.
she
It's
said-
the one.
so,
The one.
on
My
the
bad.
one, which some folk are, having a hard time with, but that makes it real easy. Like everybody comes in
Mhm.
on the one. I used to hear
On the
Bootsy
one.
talk about it all the
That's a
time.
Strong one. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Now, of course, Bootsy was also a protege of James's, and you know,
He was really there like almost. I think he was there only with Mr. Brown for about a year, maybe a couple of years. Wasn't there quite a long time.
Mhm.
But
so
they did a lot of music that you would think that he was there forever,
Right.
which he is. Which he is definitely. Because we're all now one big family. You think about George Clinton, P. Funk,
Mhm.
James Brown. So it all it all stemmed from him. You had the Horny Horns, which was Maceo, Fred Wesley, Pee Wee Ellis.
Right.
So,
And so they all just went
And
over to
Bootsy.
Parliament.
And,
Right.
and then Bootsy Collins, so everything is just moved over, different phase,
So, of course, as a millennial, I have to ask this question because since you have performed amongst legends and, you were around this old school music scene, what do you think about the state of music today? What is your opinion on this new stuff that is being put out?
Well, it's just like any genre. Not genre. Any generation. Let me put it that way. Of a change of music we should accept it.
Right.
Because it's change. And not to say that we have to like it, but accept the change. You understand what I mean?
Right.
And it's a lot of things out there now that I couldn't really say who an artist may be, but I may know the song. Oh, okay, now I can put, like, God Bless Nipsey Hussle.
Mm.
I didn't know anything about this cat until, unfortunately, his passing.
Wow.
And then all what you guys knew what he stood for.
Right. Right.
And to know that about that young man and for that to happen is crazy.
Tragic.
well, let me ask you this, Elsie. Now, back when you were traveling with Mr. Brown, were there any of those types of disputes? And I'm not saying this was a rap on rapper thing, but did you have that kind of antagonism between James Brown and I don't know, the Temptations?
Well, they had their own, it was about the stage, though. Their rivalry was the stage. Now, if you
Okay.
had anything, it was about the promoter. You had everybody in the band that carried a gun. So
Oh, is that right?
just because we were traveling, oh, yeah. You had a lot of those guys in those days that because they were up against everything, not only just the us against us, but us against everything else.
And you dealing
You know
with
that-
cash. Wasn't no
Right.
You're
checks.
talking about straight up cash,
Wow.
straight up in the woods, the hills, the mountains, getting to where you had to go, and facing with other adversary situations, of being of color.
Right.
Sure.
So at that era, so those guys took a beating.
Mm.
So they just covered themselves. And I listened to Mr. Brown and his stories, and I'm like, just to hear, no, you play on my stage, but you come in on the back door, and just be treated like nothing,
Mm. Wow.
So, in your experience with the band, now I know playing with James Brown was just legendary, and even if I was just able to stand up there and hum a tune with him, that would be done. But
So would he.
That's right. That's right.
Thin
I'll
back.
tell you, that's wrong.